Alright guys, welcome back. So Rigetti, it's been a while since we have looked at it, but we were talking about this one on Discord for pretty much last time. When did I talk about this one? So last time I talked about this one was somewhere around here, a week ago. So let's take a look at this price action from last Friday, where what we were talking about. So it did round trip, and a lot of people, the reason why I looked at it on Discord, a lot of people were just pretty much, not a lot of people, some people were like, oh, it's up this much, this much. See, here's what I brought up. So that particular day, what, 20%, 20 something percent up, and then eventually closed the day lower, slightly negative, does this round trip, meaning goes up and flushes down. And I said that this is not unusual when this stock has $2.60 something range, and I even was able to pretty much, yes, that time and even today, pretty much call out where to be cautious and where to pretty much, this is for those people, this is going to be very quick, okay, for those people who might be trying to day trade it or pretty much flip it. And there are many of those guys in the Discord we have. But here's the range, okay? So this is last Friday's price action. We're gonna look at this Friday's price action as well. Look where it opens. It opens at 13.93. Goes slightly lower to 13.85. So if you measure this move from top to bottom, that move was $2.35. Okay, that was the move to the upside. Okay, and then to the downside, it has moved slightly more, came down $3. But when it went this much, 18%, a lot of people, of course, get excited, right? But in reality, this is nothing unusual when it comes to the average true range, which measures last 14 sessions of the stock's price action, meaning how much it has moved on average each day. So let's say day one it moves $3, day two $3.50, day four $4. It just compiles all this and pretty much gives me the average true range, meaning the average price it has been moving for the last those 4 trading sessions. Let's say I use 14 days, I think, settings. So this is how you can pretty much control the risk if you are somebody who bought this stock right around $16. I mean, this is what you would look at before you buy it. You're like, okay, this stock has this much of a range, $2.35 range. It has already moved this much to the upside. So probably here risk is not to the upside, but maybe to the downside. And same thing if you are somebody who was trying to short it, you wouldn't short it here and in the middle, but you would have better odds of shorting it right here and better odds of going long here when the stock pretty much opened flat. Okay, so same thing if you were short here and if pretty much the stock breaks out above the volume weighted average price, you could have been pretty much taking pretty much stop loss and getting out. But that's not the point today in the morning. Well, this stock has moved pretty much what? So 7% positive today. And I want to pay attention to this shenanigan there. Yeah, it was pretty clean move, but at the same time, I pretty much called out that $4.60 something, $4.50. I said around $4.50, you got to be careful because it's already has produced its average true range for the day. So if you just measure from today's low, 12.26 to all the way to 14.47 in the morning, I was saying 14.50. That's where you want to be cautious if you are long. It started pulling back to volume weighted average price, went up, tested that level, and then came back down. So if you are somewhere around here trying to long this, I mean, you already knew. I mean, most people don't use it, but average true range, it has already produced its range, okay? It does not mean that it can move higher or lower than that. It can do that. But the risk of you basically getting into this position, and probability of that position going even further than its average true range, it's usually low. Yes, there are times it squeezes and all that stuff, but today this was a short squeeze, okay? And you can see even on a volume bars as well. Let me just zoom it up a little bit. As soon as this move happens, look, volume pretty much automatically, it's just somebody just switched it off after first hour of the market open. It's like all of a sudden from 10 million volume, it just drops to 4 million right away until this move, a little bit of an uptick. But overall, this move right here in the morning, this was a short covering. How do we know that? I have shared it as well. Okay, the website right here, chartexchange.com. You enter any ticker symbol you wish. And I'm showing this for those people, like, you don't have to keep watching people like me on YouTube. You have to be self-sufficient. If you're trading it during a day, there's information. There are many platforms that provide it, but I use this where it's good enough for me. At least I can see one platform's borrowing rates, meaning if I wanted to short this name, I would look to see, is it easy to borrow or is it hard to borrow shares to short possibly. And I showed this one last time as well. You can see available shares. When you don't see at least millions of shares available here, and if you're seeing anything like 4,000, 5,000, 50,000, even 100,000, it's not a lot, okay? Which means people who wanted to short it, they have a hard time borrowing. That doesn't mean that other platforms are not able to locate shares to short for people who are trying to short. But it just means that, well, if you're short, you got to be careful. And on the other hand, if you don't trade short, this is a perfect recipe for you to keep an eye on to the upside, pretty much looking for a squeeze. This is not the only data. You can also see daily short volume. And I have given an example of this last time as well. You look at this data, which is not complete. It's not 100% accurate because not all exchanges are sharing this data, but some are sharing it. And based on those people, on those exchanges that are sharing this data, for the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 trading sessions or so, people who were shorting this stock was high. 60%, 60%, 57%, 57, 55. And guess what? When stocks tries to move against those people, you do your technical analysis, you look at the price, and if price gets back above all these previous 4 days levels, obviously some of the shorts are going to cover it, okay? Meaning they become buyers. They push the price higher. And if there are other bullish people, and at the same time, on top of that, the short sellers becoming buyers at the higher price, meaning they're losing money, they have to cover, and you're going to see short volume drop like it did today on Friday to 43% only because, well, some pretty much got squeezed throughout this move. And then, this move, it happened with a lower volume, but at the same time, I want to show a couple more things. Okay, so this is out of the way. I hope it was helpful, this part, but here's what's going on with the daily chart. Yes, you look at the chart, you see the stock price action pretty much for the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 trading sessions or so. It's been in a range bound, okay? Volume has been dropping as well. And then you can see pretty big volume today showed up because short squeeze, okay? Just like last Friday. And let's dive into the option activity. One that was standing out, somebody mentioned in the Discord, were this is an opening order, I believe. Somebody started buying March 21st, 2025, $20 strike calls, 22,000 volume traded. And I don't know up until next Monday to see how open interest is going to change, to see if these people try to flip it or if they're still holding it. this is unusual. This is large. If that many open interest remains on Monday, that means this is somebody could be betting to the upside for the stock. If I dive into the particular like orders, how they came in, where they came in, so you can see in the morning some came in around like maybe 10,000 orders at these prices, $1.80, dollar something, okay. And then at the end of the day, at $1.50-ish, more volume came in. You can see right here, and I'm not sure if somebody who tried to long it here and then they took a loss here, or it's somebody who longed it in the morning and then end of the day stock dips with overall market and then they added to the position. So the only way you can check it on any platform, open interest, is coming next day and checking the open interest. Since we know this is the volume only and open interest for that expiration date was only 850 contracts, we have to see what happened on Monday to see if it's a bullish bet or not. Because I trade options, I keep an eye on option activity, and if there's flows, large unusual flows, I keep an eye on and I become interested if stock starts breaking certain levels. Now let's quickly take a look at the levels. Well, levels for the stock, well, I would be watching again 1756 as a gap fill area. Until that moment, I mean, this could be still in a choppy IV crush mode where it's killing premium. It was killing premium up until today, where shorts got squeezed and volume showed up as well. But support would be this area, 1177. I mentioned it many times. But if the stock doesn't get going, meaning gets back above 1450 or it's struggling 14 and start pushing, you got to be careful to the downside. Slowly volume can disappear like it did last 5-6 trading sessions, excluding today. Then it can fade, but it will happen slowly, and you're not gonna see something like this unless there's some big catalyst, okay? Just like we had over here. But if you're bullish, these are the levels. Again, I'm watching these levels, 1468, today's high, and then gap fill area between 1750, and then all-time highs is $20. So if it does take out those levels, yeah, there could be more shorts from these levels that are still confident, that are still holding it, because I mean, if you're naked short with shares, you can hold it much longer than options. There's no expiration, right? You just pay the fees and just keep holding. But this stock has very high interest for the shares to borrow. But actually, it had it, but it looks like 6%. It's not a lot, actually. It's not crazy. Okay, 6.4% and then 2% rebate. It's nothing, actually. It's normal. But the fact is, it's hard to borrow to short. Okay, so that's why you're seeing these impulsive moves to the upside, where pretty much short people who are trying to short it naked, they're messing with it and they're getting caught like this on these sorts of swipes like this Friday and last Friday, where pretty much they're just stepping on top of one another. So, but I'm sitting on the sidelines. I haven't traded this name. Actually, I tried to trade it today. I don't know what happened. I probably got out for the break even or something like that. Yeah, I don't have a position in this stock. I'm not trading options, but I'm still watching neutral. These are pretty much shenanigans, IV crash shenanigans, where stock just does this up and down move in the range, unless it breaks out up or down. Those are the levels that I mentioned. So that's the update for Rigetti, RGTI quantum name. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one, probably next week in February. Take care. Peace.